Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Chet. Today I'm gonna be unboxing the brand new 2018, not even in the stores yet, QLED Q8F from Samsung. Now, this is the first year that Samsung has put out the 8 model in flat screen. So maybe you saw last year in 2017, they had the Q8C, which was the curved version, but this year is the first year of the 8F. So the first flat screen in the 8 series. I'm also going to be talking to you a little bit about the differences between the various models. So if you'd like to skip directly to the unboxing, go to 11 minutes, 23 seconds on the timeline down below, and that'll take you directly to the unboxing. So let's get started talking about the various models in the series of QLEDs from Samsung this year in 2018. So this is actually the second year of the QLED models from Samsung, but this is the first year, like I said, that the 8 has been released in a flat version. So let me tell you about the 4 different models. You have the Q6F, you've got the Q7F, and then the Q8F, which is what we're going to unbox today, and you've got the Q9F. Now there are some curved in some of those various models, but I'm only going to be talking about the flat panels today. And in fact, I'm mostly going to be comparing the 8 and the 9 because they're kind of in the same range. While the 9 is the more expensive model with all the bells and whistles, the 8 is kind of the younger brother to that. It has a different form factor, and we'll get into all the differences in just a second. So let's talk about pricing. The Q8F in a 55-inch variety is going to be $2,200 MSRP in the US. And then the 65-inch model, which is what I'm going to be unboxing here, is $3,000 MSRP in the US. Then there's also a 75-inch, which is going to be 10 inches larger than this one, and that's going for $4,800 MSRP in the US. Now the 9F, the bigger brother to this one, is only in the 65-inch and the 75-inch sizes. So the 65-inch is going to be the $3,800, so $800 more than the 8. And then the 75-inch, which is the big daddy, the big screen with the best quality, for $6,000. So if you're in the market for spending $6,000 on a TV, I highly recommend the Q9F. The black levels, from what I understand, are just amazing. The brightness of the screen is just amazing as well. So other than the price and other than the $800 difference between the 65-inch 8F and the 65-inch 9F, what is the difference? What is that $800 going to get you? Well, the 8F has Q Contrast Elite and Q HDR Elite, whereas the 9F actually has both of those things, but to the max. And that's just marketing speak for likely more zones on the 9F, as well as a better engine possibly built into the 9F. I'm not exactly sure the differences between, the insides of those, and but likely what that means is that the 9F is going to have your better blacks, less blooming. But I think the 8F is going to, we're going to find out that it's going to measure pretty highly in the line, and is going to do really well even compared to the 9, with the 9 being the most expensive, best model. I've also received confirmation from Samsung stating that the HDR10 Plus standard that they've just come up with is going to be in all 4 of the models. This is supported in all 4 models. So if you have an HDR10 Plus Blu-ray, which we should start seeing this year with new studio support, those will display in all their colors and all their HDR saturation values in the dynamic range in the Q8F, the Q9F, as well as the 7 and the 6 as well. Of course, Samsung is saying that the Q9F is going to have the best HDR10 Plus, but it still remains to be seen the difference between like the 8F and the 9F. We're still just too early. We're just doing unboxings at this point. So until we get some better data from these calibrators that are out there, we don't really know, real world statistics on what's better with the 8F or what's better with the 9F. And then the other major difference between the 8F and the 9F is, of course, the form factor. So on the 9F this year, they have the what they're calling the one invisible connection. Last year, you may remember this on that 9F, where you actually had 2 separate cables, one for the HDMI and the data connection between the TV and the separate breakout box, and then you also had a separate power cable. Whereas in this year, in the 9F, the 2018 model, it's one invisible cable. So it's a really tiny, small cable that's going to carry both the data connection between the TV and the separate breakout box, but it also also is going to include the power in there. So that's really nice on the 9F. Whereas the 8F, it still has separate cables. It doesn't have to use that breakout box. And in fact, it doesn't even support the breakout box, but it does have a really nice routing system, and we'll take a look at that during the unboxing, but where you can route your cables and it will go down through the leg. If you're using the stand, it'll go through that as well. So I'll show you that during the unboxing as we set everything up. As for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break off. I'm gonna show you the TV that it's gonna be replacing. I'm gonna show you all the other equipment in my rack so we'll get an idea of what's being connected to it, so that later on, after the unboxing, I'll have another video where we can kind of take a look at the features of the TV, everything that it's got, and the picture quality as well. So the new Samsung TV is going to be replacing my Panasonic VT30 plasma. This was the creme de la creme of plasmas there towards the end of the life of plasmas. I hate to see it go. In fact, it's not leaving the house. It's just going somewhere else in the house. But it is going to be replacing my main entertainment center for the living room here. Love this. It's been calibrated. It was calibrated, it was broken in and then calibrated before it was shipped to me when it was brand new by D-Nice. And I've just absolutely loved this TV. Of course, it's got to go somewhere else in the house because it's not 4K. Although it had really great black levels, it is starting to get darker in brightness over time, as plasmas tend to do as they get closer to their half-life. So this is going somewhere else in the house. It's not going in the trash. Don't worry, guys. I still love this television, but I do need 4K. I do need HDR, and it's time. All right, so down here in my rack, I've got my trusty Roku Ultra, which I absolutely love. It's already 4K and HDR capable. So I'm really looking forward to hooking that up to the new Samsung QLED to see the picture quality there. I've already been watching it obviously in 1080p on the plasma, and I also have one of these in my bedroom, which does have a 4K TV, but it's not HDR. It was one of the first 4K TVs that came out that was not HDR capable. So I'm really looking forward to getting the Samsung QLED set up so I can watch HDR content over Netflix and Amazon. We also have my Samsung BD-F5900. So again, this was a good Blu-ray player for me for watching 1080p movies. Really have enjoyed that. This is actually going to be coming out. I'm going to be replacing this with what I already have on hand. We're just waiting for the TV to get here, but it's Samsung's UHD player, and it also is going to support HDR10 Plus with a firmware update. All right, and then down here, I've got my trusty Denon VXR3100W. It is 4K compliant already. It's also HDR compliant and Dolby Atmos compliant. So it's only a couple of years old. I believe I'm gonna be able to route my Blu-ray player through here to get to the TV and still get my nice HDR10 content. Now, the good thing about that Samsung Blu-ray or UHD player I was telling you about, it has two HDMI outputs. So I'll be able to run one directly to the new QLED TV, and then I'll be able to run HDMI cable to the Denon receiver. So I'll get the best of both worlds, and I shouldn't have any support problems there. All right, as if that wasn't enough with Roku content, streaming content, and the UHD player, I'm also got my awesome Hopper from Dish Network. I love this thing. I love that it skips the commercials for me. It also can produce 4K content if I decide to do that with Dish. And I've got the Joeys throughout the house to the other TVs. So we just love our Hopper. Now, I'm pushing all this with the Logitech Harmony One remote. Sure, it's a little bit older. Sure, it's not ran by a smartphone, but I love this remote. I don't think I'm gonna use any other remote. Now, I know that the Samsung TV comes with the remote, and I've heard that it's a really nice remote and can control everything. I know that it has that HDMI CEC capabilities, but generally I stick with my Logitech. I like to play. I like to hook it up to my laptop and program it and have it run all the macros for me. So I've had great luck with this thing. I've also got another one upstairs in the home theater room, but I think I'm going to be reprogramming this one to the Samsung TV and the new Blu-ray player soon. So I'm sure you're probably wondering by now, what is this guy doing for sound? Well, I'm glad you asked. I've got the Definitive Technology surround sound system. Now I decided to save a little money here because upstairs is where the creme de la creme is for surround sound. but I am running a 7.1 surround sound system here. I've got the Definitive Technology Pro Center 2000 here, which is kind of the upgrade from the 1000, I believe. I wanted just a little bit more wattage and a little more power from my center channel, since that's where most of the audio is coming from. I've also got, kind of hiding behind the box here, but you can see it over here as well, the two satellites. Those are the Pro Monitor 1000 bookshelf speakers. For the subwoofer, I've got the Definitive Technology Pro Sub 1000. It's a 10-inch 300-watt subwoofer, which is plenty for this room size. And then for my surround speakers, I've actually got in-ceiling speakers, also Definitive Technology, but those are there because there is no back wall behind the couch. That goes directly to the dining area. All right, now to the part we've all been waiting for. Let's go over the contents on the outside of the box, and then we'll get to the unboxing. So starting in the top corner, we've got the Samsung logo, and we've got some information about the set here. And then it's going to show you some of the features across the top as well. This is the Q Color and the Q Contrast Elite and the Q HDR Elite that I was talking about earlier. Also, the Q8F supports a motion rate of 240 frames per second. Now, that's if you want that soap opera effect that everybody's talking about. You don't have to activate that if you don't like. And of course, what 2018 model wouldn't be complete without some sort of voice-activated control? So Samsung has opted to use their Bixby voice. Here we're showing compatibility of Netflix within one of the apps on Samsung. What smart television would be complete without Netflix? And of course, it also supports Ultra HD premium content. This particular model is a 65-inch model, and you can only stack it 4 high. Don't stack more than 4 of these in case you have 4 of them at your house, okay? And just so you know, this is certified UHD, not the uncertified variety of UHD. All right, now to the part we've all been waiting for. Let's get busy unboxing this bad boy. Looks like we've got a couple of feet here, and I can see here where the wire is actually going to be coming through for the hidden wire feature. Looks like we've got a quick setup guide, so I'm going to be sure to read that. And the accessories kit, which includes the user manual. I feel some batteries in there. Looks like we've got a power cable. We've also got the manual and the remote in here as well. And I'll be sure to unpack all of that and show that to you here in a second. So maybe I should read the manual here. Okay, it looks like there's one labeled L and one R for left and right on the feet. Yep, here we have a right. That's gonna go on this side. Here we have a left. That'll go over here on this side. These look like wall mount adapters. I won't be wall mounting this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep these in the little baggie and make sure that I save these in the case that I do wanna mount this TV to the wall at a later time. All right, we've got the power cable, and I can see here that it's one of the pretty thin cables, but it looks like it's been designed to route behind the TV for the hiding of the wire. And here is the one remote that they were talking about. Looks like a pretty nice remote. And here we have the manual, user manual, and probably some legal notices, accessories kit, things like that. And this next part looks to be a 2-person job, so I'm gonna ask my wife when she gets home, and we'll be right back. I love the back of this panel because it's so simple to use. It has 2 USB ports on it. It has the digital optical out to go to your surround sound receiver. It also has 4 HDMI inputs on it. It has the LAN port, so you can hook that directly to your router if you'd like. It has an X-Link and it has an antenna input. On the other side, we have the power outlet, and I love this because I can show you how you can route the cable through the back side of the TV. Really well designed so that it can go through the foot of the back of the television. And this is what Samsung has labeled the clean cable solution. All right, so the last thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is this remote. Now, it's a nice slick design. It holds a couple of AA batteries in the back, which were provided in the box, so you don't have to go searching for AA batteries. Obviously, it has the power button on the top left corner. There's a little bitty hole right next to that, and that is an actual LED light inside of there. So as you press the buttons or you activate something, then you may see that blink or come on momentarily. Just underneath that in the center, we have the microphone button. That's because this TV does have that voice activation that I was talking to you about earlier with Bixby in the Samsung brand TVs. So that will activate Bixby for you. Then there's a little button over here that's going to activate, I'm assuming, some on-screen keyboard, or it does have 1, 2, 3 on there, as well as a red, green, yellow, and blue dot. So I'm assuming that that's going to bring something else up and allow me to make a selection on the screen. Over here we have a little TV looking icon that has a little flower inside. I'm also going to assume that that brings up your picture quality settings or your picture settings. It could also bring up various apps. I'm not quite sure on that one just yet. And then we have our directional buttons where you can press up, down, left, right. There's also a selection button in the middle, or an enter button. We have the play pause over here just underneath that on the right side. We have the home button directly underneath, and then the bounce back or return button there on the left side. Now these are very interesting because you have one button for volume and one button for channel. And these buttons actually are not just a press or a click. You can actually push up or push down on them to go up channel, down channel, or up volume and then down volume. So really cool design on that. Very simple, elegant design. Can't wait to use it with the TV. All right, just before we wrap up the video, I just wanted to give you a quick shot of the front of this television. It does have the Samsung logo down there. Now, I'm not going to actually plug in the set for this particular video because I'm going to do a full review of this set with a PS4 Pro hooked up in 4K. We're going to hook up that Ultra HD Blu-ray player from Samsung that I purchased just to go along with the set. And I'll do a full review. You'll get to see picture quality and everything. This is just an unboxing video, so make sure you tune into that one. I did want to point out, however, these little side panels that are on here. They kind of look like on any other TV, there would be maybe a speaker setup that's built into the set. But the actual video screen goes all the way to the corner here. These are just for installation purposes. So as we're carrying the set around or we're putting it into our entertainment console, we don't put our fingers into the quantum pixels and breaking the screen. So that's what these are for. It's really nice that they included that so we don't get our oils from our fingers on the screen as well as we're moving it around. But I will remove all these things and get those into the entertainment center, and then in the next video we'll do a full review. So I look forward to seeing you there. Come back. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.